Hello everyone, my name's Brian, and welcome to a very special edition of Brian Plays Random Nonsense on the Internet, because this was the first viewer-submitted deck in the email. That email is HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com. So, Liam, thank you very much for reaching out and recommending this deck here. Now, he reached out and asked me to play Mono Blue Affinity. Now, there was one problem with Mono Blue Affinity, and that is Urza Saga. It is a lot of money, and let me tell you, from testing this deck, it doesn't work without it. I tried countless things. It was so bad I didn't even release that footage. We're just going to start here from a nice list that might actually win a few games, as opposed to me trying to take the most powerful bit out of the deck. Now, you might also notice we have a new camera here, and I have a new kind of box in my lower right-hand corner now. I need you guys to tell me if I'm too big, if the image looks like poop. This is a completely different style of camera I'm used to. I was using just a regular old GoPro, which is out of reach, unfortunately, and now I'm using an actual camera. So let me know if I'm too big or if the image looks awful or what have you. We can always make adjustments as we move. So let's get into the actual deck. Now, if you already know how Mono Blue Affinity works and you want to hop right to the games, I should, if you come to the video late enough, put chapters down at the bottom so you can just jump right to game one. Now, Affinity has been around for quite some time. The first time I would have run into it in Modern was against a good friend of mine, James. Hello, James. In Hoboken, and he wasn't playing it the night I met him, but he did play it for quite a bit. Now, that was a completely different version with Mopal, and Mopal has been banned for quite some time, but with the advent of Modern Horizons 2 specifically, and getting a couple of new toys, now Affinity has all sorts of things that make it better. This is also called 8cast, because, well, it has 8 copies of Thoughtcast with Thoughtcast and Thought Monitor. So, I guess really that's the biggest thing. Because this is the Mono Blue version, it's essentially a colorless deck with a handful of blue draw spells. Thoughtcast, Affinity for Artifact. If you've never seen Affinity, it just means the more artifacts you have on the battlefield, the lower these spells cost, because 5 mana for draw 2 sounds awful until you realize most of the time it's 1 mana draw 2. Same thing with Thought Monitor. It's the same effect, except it has a 2/2 flying body, so evasion is kind of important. There are also other Affinity creatures. Good old Frogmite, all the way back from Mirrodin, I believe, and he is just kind of hanging out. He is a 2/2 for 4, but again, he has Affinity, so most of the time he costs 0. There's also Mirror Enforcer, a slightly bigger version of that creature, and Soldier's Companion, which is just a better Mirror Enforcer, so Mirror Enforcer becomes copy of Soldier's Companion 5 and 6. The difference is I can cycle Soldier's Companion for land. I'm very bad at doing that, though, personally. Other things to try and get artifact count up in this deck are 4 copies of Memnite and 4 copies of Ornithopter, 0 mana creatures that look really kind of awful, because they're, 1/1s with no text on them, but they are artifacts, which are important for the Affinity part of this deck. Also, 2 copies of Welding Jar, a 0 mana artifact that allows you to regenerate. Now, I know a lot of people don't know what regenerate does, even though it was one of the original mechanics in Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Revised, so on and so forth. So regenerate essentially means if something were to be destroyed, instead of going to the graveyard, it taps itself and it's fine. You get a regeneration shield. I'm sure we'll see it in the games. In the 1-drop slot, which is important for Urza's Saga, we have 1 Aether Spellbomb, so either a redraw or a bounce. 1 Ginger Brute, essentially an unblockable creature, also a hasty creature. 2 Relics of Progenitus, redraws, also there is a lot of graveyard stuff going around these days. 1 Shadow Spear, probably the best 1-drop artifact that you can find off of Urza Saga, gives your creature trample lifelink, and also can host things like Boggles, because it, for some reason, can remove hexproof and all that. Now, you will notice something about this deck, though. Even against Boggles, we can remove hexproof, but we don't have any removal, and we'll get into that in a moment. And 4 copies of Springleaf Drum, essentially just ramp with your 0 mana creatures to vomit your deck, because you're going to try and draw so many cards with the Thoughtcast cards or the Thought Monitor cards, and just really clog up the board super quick. 4 Cranioplanings, or again, as my friend calls them, the Happy Hat, and these are just to punch through your opponent. Now, this is a artifact that essentially gives things +1/+0 for each artifact, and also if you have double black mana through either your Mistveil Bridges or your Springleaf Drums, you can move it at instant speed to try and punch through. A single copy of Nettlecyst, essentially just a better Happy Hat, but it costs a lot more to equip, and you also can't equip it at instant speed. It is a living weapon though, so it's a one of fun of. And of course, the land. So we have 4 copies of Darksteel Citadel, which essentially are just wastes, except they are indestructible, and an artifact land, which is super good. A single island for for variety of reasons, you know, in case we get Blood Moons or something like that, or if somebody plays a Void Mirror. Void Mirror gets us pretty good. 4 copies of Mist Vault Bridge, I apologize. And again, just an indestructible land, comes into play tap, but with so many affinity creatures, it's normally not a problem. 2 Silver Bluff Bridge, essentially just we needed another blue land, so why not? 3 copies of Treasure Vault, again, just an artifact land that comes into play untapped. And finally, and most importantly, 4 copies of Urza Saga. Liam, I hope you appreciate what we do for you. Just kidding, mate. So pretty much, this has a lot of text on it. So the first turn, it comes down. It can tap for mana. The second turn, it can create essentially an Urza token, or a construct token, as they're commonly known. So it gets +1/+1 for each artifact, and as you can tell, we're 99% artifacts here. And finally, on its final mode, while it does die, you can still tap it for mana because it's in your main phase, not your upkeep. And you can also grab either one of your 0 drops or one of your 1 drops, of which we have 19. So again, this is a very aggressive deck. This is a very linear deck. It really only has one plan, which, if you stop and think about it, is kind of how I play Magic in the first place. So what's the sideboard look like? And the sideboard's real interesting to me. In fact, here, let me even separate it out like this so you can kind of see the different drops of what we're planning here. So we have a little bit of blue, Hurkyl's Recall, to bounce our opponent's artifacts to the hand. Now, you might stop and think, Brian, you have so many artifacts. Why would you want to bounce your own artifacts to your hand? Well, one of the things that absolutely destroys this deck is board wipes. So if there's a board wipe, you might want to put all your artifacts back in your hand, and hopefully between the fact that you have a lot of 0 drops and the fact that your creatures have affinity, you can hopefully put them back super quick. Also, sometimes they'll just put something down that you can't deal with, an Ensnaring Bridge or a Chalice of the Void or something of that nature, a Void Mirror, and you just need to get things down. So you bounce it back up, you replay your board, hopefully you can kill them in 1 turn. Again, it's not a very interactive deck. 4 copies of Metallic Rebuke to try and counter things. Against control, it's good. Against other decks, it's okay. I find that if I'm countering things, I'm normally losing, but hey, it's the person who made the deck, not me. 2 Tormod's Crypts, extra Graveyard Hate, even though we do have 2 copies of Graveyard Hate just in the main. Sometimes you get absolutely dumpstered by Graveyard Hate, so it's good to have extra. We also have a Grafdigger's Cage, which, while people look at that and go, man, that's all a Graveyard Hate, this also stops things like Coco. This stops things that, you know, tutor creatures directly from the deck. So it's kind of important that you have this up and running sometimes against certain decks. A Pithing Needle, again, real good to have. Urza Saga gets it, can turn off a whole bunch of win cons. 3 Dampening Spheres. Now, again, that looks really weird considering our deck is trying to go so fast and play so many spells, but I gotta tell you, because of Affinity, normally I can put down 1 Dampening Sphere. And those of you who saw 2 weeks ago videos know sometimes I play too many Dampening Spheres. You can really play through your own Dampening Sphere thanks to Affinity. Unless you're playing a deck that only plans on playing 1 spell per turn, please don't play more than 1 Dampening Sphere. Don't be me. I'm bad at this game. 1 Cursed Totem, activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. Again, good at stopping your opponent's combos and generally hosing your opponent's creatures. I wish that was triggered abilities, because those are the ones I find this deck really being soft to, but hey, gotta use what you can. And finally, an Etched Champion, a one of fun of, has protection from all colors as long as you have Metalcraft, which is 3 or more artifacts. Again, good at punching through things, but these days there's so many ways to kill it. I find that creatures that are supposed to have, you know, protection from everything actually die a lot of ways. So generally you'll see this come out, and it'll die in a hilarious fashion I normally find. So there's that. And that, my friends, is Mono Blue Affinity in all of its glory. So let's go ahead and hop into a couple of games and see how we do. Join me, won't you? All right, we got our first person who beat us on the die roll, as we start most videos. All right, let's see what our opening hand is here. Oh man, I'm definitely too big. Hold on, let me shrink myself down a little bit. That looks a little bit better. All right, so we have 3 lands, a Happy Hat. This is probably fine because we have the Urza Saga, and pretty much anything we draw will be great. We're looking for card draw at this point. Our opponent opens with a Copperline Gorge and a Burning Inquiry. Oh no, please save us some lands. Okay, so we lost the Treasure Vault, the Welding Jar, and the Springleaf Drum. We found another Springleaf Drum. Now we have 2 Happy Hats. But they have a 4/4, which is kind of unfortunate. They also have a Vengevine in the graveyard. So, oh, and that comes out. Hooray. Oh, because they have another hollow one. So we're just getting absolutely dumpstered in our first game. Glad I started recording. Okay, so, and they get to know what our deck is because we had to discard a bunch of stuff, so there's no reason to just scoop now and try and save them from knowing because they know exactly what we're doing. This is great. Okay, so we really only have 2 turns to try and vomit our hand, and we really don't have a vomitable hand is the other unfortunate part because we have nothing with a oh, we have Soldier's Companion now. So we take 12 next turn, and then we need multiple. I mean, we'll try and get ourselves out there. If they kill Memnite, we're pretty done, because we can't really block, because we need to try and get Sojourner's Companion out, and next turn we're really hoping to find like a Frogmite or something, but boy, did they have a really good start. They can really just go to combat and get us. I mean, I'm sure if they have more stuff, they'll do more stuff, but boy. What's funny is, again, when I was testing this deck, it was going really, really well, but, you know, more aggressive deck versus our aggressive deck. Goblin Lore, oh man. Oh, and they get Asmore now? Oh boy, we got dumpstered. Okay, go ahead and swing. Go ahead. Please, actually, if you miss the attack button, that'd be great. Please don't. Please. I'm asking nicely. Ah. Okay, so what? I guess Frogmite would be our best find next turn, although I don't even think Frogmite helps. Because I don't think we'll get enough artifact downs to do like a Thought Monitor, which, you know, would allow us to gum up the board pretty good. But I don't think we're gonna gum all that much. Well, I got literally what I asked for. So how do we do this? So we can play Treasure Vault that gives us 3, then play Springleaf Gem that gives us 4, then Frogmite comes out for free, and that's the most we can probably do. So, and now we have 5 artifacts, which means we can get the Sojourner's Companion down if we tap the Memnite, and they still kill us. Cool, next game. We tried real hard. Okay, so against Hollow One, a deck I have not heard of in quite some time. I guess we definitely want the extra graveyard hate. Again, I really wish this was triggered abilities and not activated abilities. So Nettle Cyst is an easy cut. I just think it's too slow because there's no way to cheat it out. Aether Spellbomb's not bad. Gingerbread's not bad. Yeah, here's where it gets really hard because we don't really have anything bad after that, and we would like to get a little bit of extra graveyard hate in the deck, even though graveyard is clearly only half their plan. So what is the worst here? I guess we can nip 1 Happy Hat and maybe 1 more. Maybe a Welding Jar's a 0-drop though. We kind of need that. Oh boy, this is hard. I don't know. Maybe we do cut Aether Spellbomb. No. I guess Gingerbrute. We can cut a Gingerbrute and we'll play it like that. And hopefully we've lowered our curve enough to be real good. I don't think Dampening Sphere is where we want to be. Could be wrong. I'm often wrong. Let's see how she goes. Alrighty then, we get to go first, and our hand is a little slow. It has all the high-end stuff, but we're not going to make it to the high-end stuff, so let's mull. Okay, I think we're going to keep this, and we can give up on one of the big guys. So put back Mirror Enforcer, done, and turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage. Now, if they have another hand that's, you know, turn 1 Burning Inquiry, 2 Hollow Ones, it'll be a real quick loss. But at least this way, we stop a little bit of their plan. So let's see what their turn 2 looks, or their turn 1 looks like, if they have Burning Inquiry. Okay, they're cycling Street Wraith on our turn, which means they're probably looking for some sort of Force of Vigor, or something of that nature. Okie dokie. They play, and they cycle another Street Wraith, so that's really weird, because I feel like, a mountain, so they can Burning Inquiry. Yep, okay, please don't absolutely dumpster us. So we lose a Cranial Printing, a Frogmite, and a Thought Monitor. We gain a land and a Welding Jar. And they have a Hollow One. The Vengevine can't do anything. The Ox of Agonis can't do anything, at least until they kill our artifact. The problem is, it's gonna take us a minute to get Sojourner's Companion into play. Urza's Saga. Okay, let's do some math here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get 5 mana for Sojourner's Companion, so it's not coming out this turn anyway. If I play Urza's Saga, that means next turn I can play a token, which would actually be pretty big at that point. So I think we pivot to Urza's Saga. We play Welding Jar in case they can somehow blow up the Grafdigger's Cage, and we kind of cross our fingers because we need our Urza's token to be pretty big. Now, I'm really hoping that they planned on doing a whole bunch of graveyard stuff, and our hand kind of got them. Now, naturally, because they're against Affinity, they're going to bring in a whole bunch of artifact hate. Did I summon the artifact hate? I did summon the artifact hate. Okay. Yeah, we'll save our land. We kind of need that. They do get another activation, though, on Ancient Grudge next. Actually, no, Grafdigger's Cage. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so we lost an artifact, but I'm happy we lost the Welding Jar, not our land. So this turn now, we'll play out the island unless we find a untapped artifact source, which we didn't. So it's only going to be a 3/3. Actually, no, it'll be 4/4 because it's an artifact too. Math is fun. Okay, so let's see what they're doing now. If they just go to combat, we'll try and snap trade. They could have another Ancient Grudge, which is fine, but let's see what they're up to. Underworld Cookbook, so they can start making food. They can also return something to their hand. Let's see, they discard a mountain made of food. Oh, here's Asmore. That's kind of annoying. I think we still snap trade with the hollow one. They get another Underworld cookbook. It looks like they're just going to play out the Underworld cookbook. I mean, they're also probably playing Urza Saga because they have enough artifacts for it. Now, should we have put Hercule's Recall? Maybe. But right now, our Grafdigger's Cage is kind of keeping us in it. So who knows? Okay, so they're hellbent. They're happy to trade the hollow one. So this is sacrifice 2 foods, essentially kill anything. I guess we kind of have to bait that out. You know, we're not going to not try and do that. If they sacrifice their 2 food tokens now, actually, we'll just take the 4. I thought that was going to be a 4/4, but I'm counting Urza Saga. When Urza Saga is not an artifact, it is indeed an enchantment. So not blocking. Yep, okay, we kind of saw that coming. Killed their 2 things. We can make another one though. So let's see what we draw, because that's the best part about Urza Saga. You actually get to draw. Okay, fascinating. So we can either make a token and essentially be tapped out at that point. Because it would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So the token would be our entire turn. Or we can just do it for land, go get a 1 or 0 drop out of the deck, and try and win another way. I don't think the token's going to save us, so I think we're just going to float a mana, and we're going to take a peek at our deck and see what we can think of here. All right, so here are our options for what we can pull out. What would be the best here? So 1, 2, and then we're going to have 3, and then we could play the land, which is 4, which makes Thoughtcast only 1 mana, and then we just kind of cross our fingers, I guess? So we could get, like, Shadow Spear and hopefully start gaining some life back, but we really need a creature to exist to do that, but I don't think Springleaf Drone or anything like that's going to help a ton. So let's swing for the fences and get Shadow Spear. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could just Thoughtcast with the floated mana, or we could play the land and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and play out the Sojourner's Companion and definitely not get hit by Asmore, which I think is correct. So if we play this out, let's see if my math is right. That also means we can just float this and play a Spell Bomb because essentially it's free. All right, so that takes all of our mana, but now we do have a 4/4. And next turn, we're kind of set up for a big turn. Now, we do get hit to 9 or even more depending on what they draw. I don't think they can make 2 food. I mean, if they're playing Gilded Goose, congratulations, they win. But I'm hoping they just drew something kind of irrelevant. So they attack with just Hollow One, which is fine. I don't block, because next turn we're going to try and Shadow Spear up and really go to the races. Drop to 8. All right, what do we draw? A Darksteel Citadel. Well, we don't have to play that out right now. Let's go ahead and just play Thoughtcast. We draw a Myr Enforcer and his Urza Saga. I'm glad we didn't play the Darksteel, because I definitely want Urza Saga instead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it costs 1 mana to play Myr Enforcer. So we're going to keep this close to our chest. I do have, actually, let's go ahead and play Myr Enforcer now, because I don't want to lose artifacts and not be able to play it. So we'll equip the Sojourner's Companion. Becomes a 5/5, and we swing for 5. Because they are at 13, which is not a terribly high number. And we do have a blocker in Myr Enforcer. They go to 8, we're back to 13. They can still now Asmore our blocker, but we're gaining life. They discard 2 cards, and they just Asmore the Myr Enforcer, which seems to be what they're doing. But what we'll do next turn is we'll bounce the Hollow One. Oh, they're letting us gain a whole bunch of life. That's weird. I don't know why they did that. Looks like they scooped in shame after gaining us a whole bunch of life after picking the wrong creature. So is there anything else we want to do? I guess we can Pithing Needle naming Asmore, or we can even Curse Totem, because that is an activated ability to do the Asmore thing. Because I don't think they'll make the same mistake twice. But like, what do we want to take out for either of those? Because we still need to be quick against our opponent's deck here. The Grafdigger's Cage definitely saved us, because they had like Oxes and stuff in the graveyard. But what else do we want? The only thing I can think of is another Cranial Plating. Okay, let's try it. I mean, our opponent lost because they salted off. They didn't necessarily lose, or they punted rather. They didn't lose because they were in a bad place. But hey, we made it to game 3, which is really all we can ask for after that absolute beating in game 1. So let's try this. Okay, so this is actually fine. This is a turn 2 Frogmite and like a turn 3 Thoughtcast, and we get a Tormod's Crypt. Like, they get to go first, so if they get to go off with their graveyard on turn 0, there's nothing we can do about it. But starting turn 2, we'll have the Tormod's Crypt to keep them in check a little bit. Now, we can't respond to like them escaping an Ox. Once we see the Ox in the graveyard, we kind of have to be reactive to it if we ever get the chance to be reactive to it. But things like Vengevine, all that, we can react on the stack. back. So that's why Grafdigger's Cage is probably better in this matchup, because it just turns everything off as opposed to only turning off certain things. Copperline Gorge, come on, show me the Burning Inquiry. You know you want to. Our opponent did mold to 6. Oh, Flameblade Adept. Okay, that's not the scariest thing. So we actually get a turn to set up. We find another 0-mana artifact. We get to turn 1 Frogmite. Urza's Saga. You definitely don't want to play that turn 1. So Crypt, Memnite, Bridge, which is 3, unfortunately not 4, but hey. Next turn we get to play Urza's Saga and Frogmite and Thoughtcast. Let's see how much damage we get punched in the face for with Flameblade, because they can like Goblin Lore now and really, really get us. Another Flameblade Adept. Ooh, this is scary. Those things have menace, so they're kind of hard to block. There's the Burning Inquiry. Okay, so what do we want to keep? I guess we want to keep the Mistville Plains and the Urza Saga. Let's see what the RNG gods have in store for us. We lost the Cranial Plating, a Thoughtcast. Okay, well, losing the Thoughtcast kind of hurts. They get a Blazing Root Walla. Oh, okay. So once we get priority, we need to blow this up because there's a Vengevine in the graveyard, and we have another Tormod's Crypt, so not terribly a problem. Because if they played the Blazing Root Walla, the Vengevine would have come back. So at least now we can yield through the turn. We're gonna get hit for a whole bunch, and they're gonna be in a good position. But hey, we still get to Frogmite and Urza Saga next turn. But they're in a pretty good position, although they are down to 2 cards. Oh, it was 2 Blazing Root Wallas. Oh, that makes it so much worse. So we're down to 16. We find a treasure vault. So let's see here. We no longer have the Thoughtcast. So this puts us to 3. This puts us to having to spend mana to play out Frogmite. But hey, we really don't have anything else going on. So let's play that out. Let's play Frogmite. And now for those of you who are paying attention at home, we are out of cards. So we kind of hope that their hand is a little dead right now. But we need to find some sort of draw ability and kind of vomit our deck back up. But boy, is it not looking like that's going to work. I expect just a full swing. Yep. So no use blocking the Flame Blades. I guess we just try and block the Root Wallas. I mean, they can spend the mana to make them bigger. But yeah, so they spend the 1 mana to trade with the Frogmite, and we take 2. And now we really just are in top deck mode. We need like a Thoughtcast. We need something. Oh, and they have another Blazing Root Walla anyway. Oh, that's so much fun, guys. Another Urza Saga. Okay, so we're definitely making Urza Saga tokens. Let's play this out, because boy, are we going to see if we can win the game on the back of Urza Saga and nothing else. We have no plan B. All right, come on. I really just need them to draw lands. Just lands. Because the thing is, we can't block the Flameblade Adepts anyway, because they have menace. So if they draw like Goblin Lore or something, we are just donezo. They just go to attacks. I feel like they have a Ancient Grudge, but I really don't have any other play here. Because, okay, yeah, here's Ancient Grudge. Yeah, I didn't have any other play, unfortunately. So that dies, and they should really just double up on Ancient Grudge right now, because if I get priority, I'm blowing up their graveyard, because they should blow up Springleaf Drum. I'm thinking hard whether or not they should blow up our Springleaf. They blow up the Tormod's Crypt. Okay, sure. They must have some sort of graveyard thing in their hand, so that fizzles, and we take 3, and we are really hoping for a decent draw. A Thought Monitor. Okay, let's do some math here. So blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we don't make an Urza's token, we can play Thought Monitor, right? So this is blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, we can. And I think playing the Thought Monitor is better than the Urza token, because we're also going to go get an artifact. Because how big would it be? 1, 2, 3. It would be a 4/4. But I think the Thought Monitor is better. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. Oh, I got to place them on the stack. Okay. Well, now add that. Yeah, this is definitely correct, or as correct as my brain can do it. So do we want Shadow Spear to try and gain back some life is the question. Or do we want like a welding? Because like Shadow Spear starts gaining us back life, but only like 3/3 at a time. Whereas like Grafdigger's Cage shuts down the other half of their deck, but I think we're past that because we're already at 11. So I think we go ahead and pick up Shadow Spear. That gains the token. And now we play Treasure Vault and we cast Thought Monitor. So Bibbidi and then Bobbidi. I probably tapped the wrong land. I definitely tapped the wrong land because we could have Urza Saga's tokened with the Springleaf Drum, but I guess we can equip the Shadow Spear now, which might be good as well. well, who knows? So we have a 3/3 blocker, which unfortunately trades with Blazing Root Wallet, but at least it gains us a little bit of life. And next turn, unless something really weird happens, we probably just make an Urza's token. But we got a little bit more in this, and we have another Urza Saga, which is, you know, the best card in the deck. So please don't have another Ancient Grudge. Burning Inquiry, that's fine. So we end up with a Mirror Enforcer and another Urza Saga. Oh, and they're going to deal us roughly 4 million damage. Do they have another way of doing that and just ending the game? Because they can deal 8 now, so if they just discard a couple more cards, they just kill us because we can't block the Flame Blade Adepts. There's no way they have another, what'd you call it, though? They don't have another, they don't have enough creature spells to play Venge. Opponent's really thinking because they're real close to winning. So they just swing out, I suppose. There's also an argument to be made to even leave the Blazing Root Wall on defense. Okay, so they're going to let us gain 3 life, which is interesting. I mean, unless they have an Ancient Grudge. So we're in slightly better shape than I thought, and we draw a Memnite. Okay, so let's do some math here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that'll get 6, and that'll be 7. So Mirror Enforcer comes out for free. So do we need Shadow Spear at the moment? Or do we... Because if they have another Burning Inquiry, we just die. But I guess we kind of need blockers. So we'll Urza Saga, make a dude, and then we'll go get probably a Welding Jar, unless I can think of anything that'd be more important. I think Welding Jar is the most important thing right now. And then we can play another Urza Saga, play a Memnite, play a Mirror Enforcer, and we can even equip the Shadow Spear to the Construct. Now, we can't attack right now, but as long as they don't kill multiple of our creatures, we can block right now. And hopefully gain 10, so fingers crossed. Our opponent scooped the match! We did it, guys! Oh man, our opponent was just done. We did it. We got to... we won with Shadow Spear. Urza Saga, worth every penny. It's a busted card. Catch you guys for game 2. All right, we have our next challenger. We won a die roll too, which with this deck is great. Winning the die roll with Affinity, regardless of what version it is normally amazing. So what do we have here? We have no threats and we have tap lands. I think we got to throw this. I think we need some form of creature with this deck. I think this hand doesn't do anything right now, so we'll try again. Now we have a hand with no lands and 3 Happy Hats. And now we have a hand we can probably salvage. So we'll keep this. We got to put 2 back. So what goes back? Probably Big Boy and probably the Shadow Spear. And we hopefully can come back. So is it turn 2 Frogmite? It might be turn 2 Frogmite, which would mean turn 2 Frogmites. What's this? Ragavan. Oh, buddy, I missed you so much. I'm not lying. I totally missed that stupid monkey. So, oh no, we can Springleaf Drum and Ragavan hits us and oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so next turn we get Frogmites, this turn we get punched in the teeth. Alright, come on Ragavan, hit me. Hit me right here. Come on, big guy. Do it. Do it and take, I don't know, what would be the worst thing they could grab? Like a Thoughtcast? A Mistveil Bridge. Okay, well we kind of wanted lands, but at least they didn't steal anything cool. So Ragavan just ramped them, which is never good. And see, that's the thing with Ragavan. And I play Ragavan, I realize he's not as broken as I first thought, but still. Oh good, it's Elementals. With Honorary Elemental Ragavan. Fun fact, Ragavan's an Elemental, he's an Eldrazi, he's in all sorts of decks that are named for a creature type, but you just put him in there because he's the best red 1-drop. Treasure Vault. Okay, Time Vault would be a much better draw, but not in this format, unfortunately. So we get to go off. We get to really try. Come on, Thoughtcast. Find us something cool. Okay. Cranial Plating. I think we wait on the Cranial Plating so that we have multiple blockers, because their deck definitely has removal. And we want to stop Ragavan from hitting us as much as possible. What did they didn't put anything on top of their deck? Yeah, they didn't use Flamekin Harbinger's ability. That's interesting. So they're trying to hide what their game plan is. Fascinating. Well, you have the best 1-drop in the game, opponent, and I have a pair of frogs. And also, as previously noted, we have no interaction. That Ragavan is not going anywhere unless it attacks in. So this is definitely going to be on... Oh, this is that. Okay, this is in Elementals. This is the Shaman Prowess deck. Ooh no, so he can find like the land blowy uppy guy now. Ignomal Hierarch. Yeah, so they play that Modern Horizons card that makes all your shamans and wizards, I think, double trigger. So again, it's aggro v aggro. Please draw something useful deck. We have to block Ragavan. We have to. Oh, skadoosh. Now I do know they attacked into us because they probably have a second Ragavan, but we kind of need... Oh boy. That does us no favors, but hey, we'll cast it out anyway. We'll put the Happy Hat on it, and we'll yield through the turn. And we'll see how they attack. I mean, it is an evasive 8-2. Evasive 8-2s are good. Our opponent doing some heavy thinking. Can't say I blame him. Beside you who endures blowing up my happy hat. How rude. Yeah, we actually have an island, so hooray. We are a little not good at the moment, though. Please don't have the shaman. What's this? Other shaman. That's unfortunate. Whew, that's not good. Rage Forger's not good. I remember when I played HeyDummyPlayThis, I was able to steal a Rage Forger and go off on someone, but right now, this is not good. So they attack, oh, they attack with 2. Oh, because they get to ping us. Ping and pong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we do block. We're trying to outlive them right now, and we need like cast abilities, Thought Cast and Thought Monitor. I guess they're Thought Monitor, but boy, we need to draw something useful. Relic of Progenitus is a redraw, so Relic and Relic, please find us something good. Welding Jar is not what we're looking for, but hey, we'll cast it anyway. The reason I'm not scooping is if we can chain together draw abilities, we can actually come back. But right now, we're not doing that. Right now, we're a little, we blew our wad, for lack of a more nuanced term, and we're kind of on the on D right now, which is not where you want to be in a heavily aggressive deck like Affinity. Here's the one you're worried about, the Harmonic Progeny, because now Exalted triggers twice. The Rage Forger triggers twice. That is exactly what they were looking for, and they found it. And another Rage Forger. Oh, good. So now the elf is going to deal us like 1,000,000 damage. The game has ended. I win the match. I'm not entirely sure what happened to our opponent. Maybe they had to leave, but I really thought I was on the losing end of that one, but hey, we got plenty of time. Let's go for another one. Okay, seemingly to make up for our last opponent running away for some reason, we have rolled a 4 and we get to play first again. Important. Opponent wishes us good luck, have fun. We will do the same back. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, and the next turn 4. Okay, well, we'll keep this because actually if we draw another land, we can go off pretty hard. So bridge, and we'll play these out in case they're playing some sort of black deck where they can rip them out of our hands and then we lose our 0 drops. Or if they just play out a Chalice on 0, they turn into dead cards. So I'm playing this out maybe a little too early, but perhaps I've been bit too many times by cards that can really, do us in. Opponent plays a Flooded Strand. So some sort of control, we really do want to move quickly. Yeah, it looking like some flavor of control. Arch of Otherworldly Light taking out a 0 drop. Prismatic Ending taking out a 0. Sure, we don't need to regenerate anything because I can't do anything. But we lose one of our artifacts, which is not good. Springleaf Drum. Okay, that lets us kind of vomit our hand a little bit more because we need to go as fast as we can in order to get as many artifacts down. So if we had a Frogmite, this would have been a really cool play, but we don't. So we have to wait until next turn to do something cool. Hopefully our opponent isn't able to lock us out of the game before then. Glacial Fortress passing, so you smell that? You smell that? That's a counter spell. That is a counter spell you are smelling. So let's go ahead and cast Ornithopter. We have 5. Let's get rid of the card in their graveyard. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then the blue. So we could try and cast Thought Monitor, but I feel like it's going to get countered. So let's try and cast Cranial Plating instead to bait out the counter spell in 3, 2, and boom goes the dynamite. Okay, so we knew that was there, and we'd rather have the Thought Monitor than the Cranial Plating. We're not dealing any damage yet, and our opponent isn't going to have any less counters in their hand, but the thing about, it's Esper. The thing about this deck we're up against now is we have to just run their hand dry. If we can get their hand to 0 cards, we're good. Ooh, and Urza Saga, fun fact, can't be countered. So here come Urza Saga. The only downside about Urza Saga is they can Archmage's Charm the token, but then again, they can Archmage Charm any of our stuff anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be 6, 7. Do we try and Thought Monitor now, or do we Soldier's Companion? How much do we have to pay for this? Only 2. Okay, so let's see if this gets countered. If it doesn't get countered, we also get to play Thoughtcast, but this is looking like another counter. Yep, he's got the right mana now. Archmage's Charm? Archmage's Charm. Okay, so that also gets countered. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can't cast Thought Monitor. We can just blow up another card in their graveyard, and hopefully next turn we can Thought Monitor. We draw some sort of untapped land that we can try and Urza Saga token and Thought Monitor at the same time. Otherwise, we're just going to have to Urza Saga token twice and hope that's enough. So we draw another Soldier's Companion. I don't think we can cast that. I think we just Urza Saga token. Because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we make an Urza Saga token, which is 6. So that doesn't work. Actually, we do this now. Oh, but that involved tapping the Springleaf Drum. So the math in my head was wrong, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is not 7. Let's get rid of the counterspell. They don't need them snapcasting, counterspelling if I have the option. And next turn, we can try multiple things. This looks like an Archmage Charm again to steal the Construct token. Oh, he's just gonna draw 2 cards. Okay, so we must have another way of killing the Construct token. The thing about Construct token is it's a 0 drop, so Prismatic Ending, March of Otherworldly Light, pretty much all the ways of killing things can do it for 1 mana. A la, oh, is this not what I thought it was going to be? A Spreading Seas on Urza Saga. So that actually kills Urza Saga, so that's not good. And they also get to draw a card. And now they also have enough mana open for another counter. Okay. So we want to draw a land. We draw Memnite, which is almost as good as a land. So play out Memnite. So now we have 7 artifacts. We just try and cast Soldier's Companion straight. And again, try and bait out the counter. We did. Okay, perfect. So now we can play out Thought Monitor into a relatively open situation. And hopefully we draw more free spells. A Frogmite and a Thought Cast. Perfect. So I realize we're playing pretty deep into a board wipe right now, but we really have no plan B. But do be aware, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing is not smart. Steel Citadel, Soldier's Companion. So now we put them in have Wrath or die. But if they have Wrath, they have Wrath. They have a Fatal Push? No! Well, I don't think they have a Wrath now, which is good. But, I mean, Esper can definitely play Wraths. Is this a Wrath? It's a big Tef. So that can only be so threatening because we have so many creatures on the board. So they untap 2 lands, which is fine. We're going to try and kill Tef next turn. Because killing Soldier's Companion is actually kind of hard for our opponent's deck. They're going to have 3 mana up, though. That's kind of brutal. It would be so much better if our opponent was at 6 right now, too, because then we could just ignore Teferi and kind of go for it. But unfortunately, we can't ignore Teferi at this exact moment. Happy Hat would be a great draw. Do we crack Relic? I think we do. So let's crack Relic. Stop any sort of Snapcaster shenanigans. And draw another Soldier's Companion. Okay, that's not bad. So this stops the Fatal Push with Snapcaster play, which is good. And hopefully we draw a draw 2. We draw a Springleaf Drum. So not quite, but we can cast the Companion, or the Soldier's Companion. They definitely have some sort of nonsense going on. So I'm not sure how they're going to save their Teferi, but I'm positive they are. Teferi, 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 Teferi. Do I also attack with the Ornithopter? I think I do, because I want them to all be tapped when they steal something. Because now if they have an Archmage's Charm, our stuff is tapped. So even if they steal Ornithopter, they can't block with it. Okay, they just let Tef go, which is good for us. We might as well, if they're not countering stuff, let's get this out now. Because if we find another Urza Saga, we want our stuff to be bigger and bigger. They get a Triome. Is that the Esper Triome? No, it's a Bant? Yeah, Bant Triome. And I know it's called something else, but it's a Bant Triome. Opponent plays a land and nothing else. I smell a Shark Typhoon is what I smell. But okay, so I think that's an after attack kind of thing. And we attack with everything, attack all creatures. Again, we don't want them to be able to steal Ornithopter and block one of our bigger creatures. Because I realize Ornithopter does nothing, but we're playing against control, so it's not like they're gonna have, you know, a flash. Like if they flash block with a shark, they're not gonna block the Ornithopter. Looks like they're trying to turn on a Fatal Push. Okay, so they take out the 2/2. Do they have the Snapcaster? They don't. Okay, goes to 4. And now I think they learned their lesson to not counter my first thing. Oh, wow, okay. Another Thought Monitor. How nice. So we have a creature to make another blue mana, Thought Monitor, another Ornithopter, cast the Ornithopter. So if they were holding the Wrath until now, congratulations, but we didn't really have a plan B. So make them have it has always been what I've done. Opponent concedes from the game. Okay, so we got the first one. Now, logic would tell you, against control, you want Metallic Rebukes. But I've always kind of struggled on what to take out. The Nettle Cyst is an easy pull. Relics seem fine. Aether Spellbomb probably does not. I mean, it might take out a Shark token, but Metallic Rebuke, just kind of stopping their big important things, also seem better. Welding Jars are good. Cranial Platings are fine. We could probably nip 1 Cranial Plating. Ginger Brute seems good. What do you want to do? What do we want to do? We definitely want all 4, so we need to take out 1 more. I guess we can take out 1 Mirror Enforcer? Try it like... Let's try that. I mean, if we lose this game, we might bring in some Dampening Spheres, but let's try this. Okay, so Mutavault into, or Mist Vault into Urza Saga, Springleaf Drum, Shadow. Against control, this seems okay because we have so many draw cards. Let's see how many. They kept to 7 and they immediately throw that down. So let's see what we can find. A Memnite. Okay, does that change what we want? No, we don't want to play Urza Saga on turn 1. That'd be silly. But we do want to get the Memnite out. So then turn 2, we can do quite a bit actually. But for right now, as far as turn 1 plays go, playing a tap land and still getting a 1/1 on the field is not a bad thing. They play, which one is this? The Esper Triome and a thing. So they definitely have a counter spell, which is fine. Now they have to try and figure out what they want to counter. So we play Urza Saga. We play Springleaf Drum. They can counter Springleaf Drum if they want. They don't want to. So we can Thoughtcast if we want, but we can also play out Shadow Spear first. I don't think they care about Shadow Spear. They could prove me wrong, though. Oh, no. Okay. And now, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can just Thoughtcast. This is probably the counter. Yep, that's fine. We have to get them out of their hands sooner or later anyway. And then next turn, we can just make an Urza Saga token and hopefully take them out that way. Another... Ooh, what's this? What is it you have for me? Oh, are you trying to, ending the sphere of the Springleaf Drum? That'd be smart. Getting rid of the Springleaf Drum would be... No, okay. They're gonna let it go for a second. Probably because they want to ending the Saga token. Okay, that's fine. We have a Metallic Rebuke, but we kind of need all of our mana to make a token. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could Soldier's Companion, but I feel like keeping Rebuke up is slightly better. And also, if they have nothing we want to rebuke, we just get to Urza Saga at the end of their turn. So let's try that. Polluted Delta into Spreading Seas. Okay, so we have to do it now, or do we counter it? Countering it doesn't really do anything now, does it? Actually, let's think about this for a second. Let's think. So if we counter it, then what? They don't get to draw a card, and we get to go find something in our deck. But is there anything in our deck that's that important? I guess. Yeah, I think trying to counter it might be better. So one of those, and then that, tap that. Just stopping them from drawing cards seems like a good... Maybe. Who knows? Really not me, you know? Me, I know nothing. I'm the village idiot. Oh, they're going to fight over it. Okay, so we get another counter out of their hands, which is actually fine by me, because that means we can Thought Monitor next turn, I think. Yeah, because they're tapped out. Okay, we got us a game. So what we really want to find is a Darksteel Citadel. Urza Saga. Or that. I mean, that's not the best, but it's better than most. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, and then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So cast Soldier's Companion for 2, and then cast Thought Monitor for just a blue, and then an Ornithopter. And then unfortunately, the other thing is not super helpful right now. So we don't have enough mana to equip Shadow Spear, but we can just punch them for 1. And now we have a developed board. If they wrath, they wrath. That's just the tagline of this deck. If they wrath, they wrath. What do we got here? Ooh, another Spreading Seas. So rude. So rude. I mean, we have another one in our hands, so if they just keep doing nothing but Spreading Seas and we start punching them, that's probably fine, but we'll see what we draw. I mean, the Soldier's Companions are hard for them to kill, which is nice. We got here Valky. Sure, because it's just gonna look at Urza Saga. Can it take Urza Saga? Okay, no, it can't take Urza Saga, so it's just a blocker. All right, untap. What do we draw? A Frogmite, which is free. Aha, free Frogmite. Obviously play out Urza Saga because they know about it. And now, what do we want to do? I guess we want to put the Shadow Spear on the Soldier's Companion because now it gets trample. And I say we just swing, because if they want to trade for Memnite, which would be silly, they're welcome to. But we are going to deal them quite a bit of damage right now. So Valky essentially saved them 1 life, and we came in with a little bit else. And now, again, Wraths would still get us, but we luckily have an Urza Saga to try and build back a little bit. Oh, I don't like this. What do you want all those colors of mana for? Oh, it's Big Teferi, isn't it? Bring to Light. Oh my god, this has got to be a Wrath, right? This has got to be Bring to Light for the Orzhov Wrath. Gotta be. Like, what else could they possibly want? Unless they're getting a Valky? Or I guess a Tybalt at that point. Yeah, no, Supreme Verdict. Okay, cool. Is there anything we can do? Nope. All our stuff goes away. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. All right, so we just want to draw 2s. Oh, that's also not bad. Okay, so we can make a token, but that's kind of our whole turn. Yeah, we can make a token at instant speed, and then Metallic Rebuke. Not really. Okay. And then we, actually, no, we kind of can. I think we can. Yeah, we can. So we wait for them to play a spell or not play a spell because we're making an Urza Saga token anyway. I have to say, it turns out there's a 5-color control deck, but out of the control deck, I was not expecting Bring to Light. Then again, I'm not great at this, so who knows? This looks like a way to kill Urza Saga. Looks like a March of Otherworldly Light. Oh, nope. Okay. We gotta go to their end step, and I am gonna make a thing. Whatever they try and do to kill this, now I have a Metallic Rebuke. Fatal Push, so they can... I guess we try this anyway. Actually, no, we can't, because we make the blue and we have to tap that, and then we only have 1. Okay, so it dies. That's fine. This untaps, draw an Ornithopter, so we definitely make a token. Now, what do we look for in our deck? It's either a Relic of Progenitus or a Welding Jar. I feel like at this point, it's the Welding Jar. Yeah, let's go Welding Jar. And then cast Ornithopter. And now we just pass the turn, because unfortunately, our opponent definitely has advantage at this point, but, you know, they die pretty quickly if we poke them pretty hard. Memory Deluge Deluge. I would appreciate if you didn't do that. So tap that for blue, target that, and then tap our 2 cards. It doesn't matter if they're tapped. Boom. So you don't get to draw cards, please and thank you. I said, oh, okay. I thought he had a force of negation there for a second, which would have been so sad, but he has 3 cards and not 5 right now, which is good. Although again, he can just snap push the construct token, which wouldn't be great, and then we're stuck dealing 1 damage a turn with Ornithopter. I guess he wants to snap push on our turn because then it'll be tapped. Cranial plating, you say? So I think that's more important, and we'll try and cast this. I mean, this is something where if you have a counter spell, you got to counter. Oof. Okay. Staying spicy. Equip this to that. Now it's gonna die. What do you got? A blue mana, a white mana, a white mana. What's going on here? Ooh, what's going on here? Solitude. Can't do nothing about that. Can't regenerate a exiled creature. That no longer has a target to equip to. The good news here is, though, if we get to the next turn, Cranial Planing on Ornithopter is still okay. It's not great, it's okay. We're also hellbent against control, which is bad, because I feel like they must have a million ways to remove our creatures. All right, draw a Thoughtcast. Darksteel Citadel. Not really what I'm going for, but hey, can't always get what you want, but sometimes you might find you get what you need. So are they going to kill it now, or are they going to let the Cranial Plating hit it? I have another Solitude? Looks like another Solitude. Ugh. Oof, okay. Exiling things is a good way to get us. I guess we keep the land in hand now. Make it look like we have something. Although, again, we're Affinity, so they probably know we have nothing. Because if we had anything, we could honestly play it right now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we could have played literally anything. And they're going to start nugging us for 6 and gaining 6, which is the unfortunate part. And again, we have no removal outside of just have a bigger creature, so we'll see what happens now. Oh, Prismatic Ending on the Happy Hat. Yeah, no, I can't stop that. All right, what do we draw? A Springleaf Drum. So we draw Bupkis. We'll cast the Springleaf Drum just to see if they're stacked and feel like countering it. Nope, we'll yield through the turn. We're probably dead here, but we'll see if we can bleed out any more. This looks like an Archmage Charm. Yep. All right, opponent, we're more or less shields down. You don't know that, but it's gonna take him a couple turns to kill us. All right, and we draw a Thought Monitor. Okay, if this resolves, I eat my hat. Archmage Charm? Yep, all right. So yield through the turn. I guess there's a world where we should have waited on that and should have tried to get multiple things in hand. Oh, do they have another Archmage Charm? Oh man, just Archmage Charm after Archmage Charm. So yeah, this isn't looking good. Right, gets us for another 6. Their hand has to have counters in it, right? Because we get 2 more turns. Go through turn. This is just a big shark token they got us. Oh, it's just Memory Deluge. Sure. Well, I say sure, but I'm literally not allowed to do it. So, see what our opponent has. Other than 6 cards in hand, so I really don't see us getting away from this, but we can sure try. Because in some world, I'm sure in some world somewhere, they can't counter our draw 2, and we just go to the races, and we're back in the game, baby. But I don't think that's what we're doing. I think our opponent can just beat us down because I think whatever they have a good amount of counters. But we will test this theory of ours, which is unfortunate because I felt like we were real close to getting them. Again, verdicts just get us. And we really can't keep it too close to the chest, because if we did, they just have a handful of counters. What is this? I was talking and they played another Bring to Light. Okay, well, we're getting free information. Is this just a Jace? Okay, it's Valky, which for some reason they get to do this anyway. Ornithopter, Happy Hat, sure. Memory Deluge, sure. I mean, unless we draw something really cool, we scoop. Okay, so we're gonna test that theory. Do you have counter spells? If you do, we scoop. All right, let's just waiting on the concede game button. Waiting on it. It's just waiting for it. They want to tap the right lands. Yep, okay. Going to game 3. Boo. All right, what do we do now? I feel like the spheres wouldn't be a bad thing. It would slow them down more than it would slow us down. Like Pithing Needle for Valky also. But like by the time Valky comes down, we just lose, right? So we take a Cranial Plating, we put in a D-Sphere. We take what? They didn't really I didn't see any graveyard stuff. So I'll take out these 2 relics now and then watch them like have Snapcasters, but let's try. We gotta keep rolling them dice. So here we go. Okie dokie. So this hand doesn't have any colored mana, but it has the Urza Saga. So turn 1, Darksteel Memnite, and if we ever find blue mana, I don't know. I'm gonna mull and see what we can find. Okay, I feel like this hand is slightly better because we can nip a Springleaf because we only have the Thought Monitor as a creature, but with the Metallic Rebuke, I feel like this is better. So we can get rid of 1 Springleaf, and then just turn 1, Spire Bluff, Welding Jar, yield through the turn. And the next turn we drop 2 more artifacts. We might even be able to cast Thought Monitor. Yeah, I think we do get to cast Thought Monitor, which is great. Goldener's Companion. Well, not right now. So one of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite, hey. Well, this is free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't quite get there, I don't think. Yeah, not quite get there. Okay. Well, we have a Metallic Rebuke, so who knows? Maybe that will save us. Looks like they just pass. Okay. Please be the island. We could use the island right now. Another thought monitor that we can't cast. Okay, I think we fizzled, guys. I think we needed to be more aggressive and we lost our window. Because playing Drago against control when all we have is a Metallic Rebuke, not where you want to be. We need more artifact lands. That'll do. 5, 6, 7. Okay. So they're gonna counter whatever we do. So I guess the first thing we try and do is Soldier's Companion. Because we gotta get the counters out of their hands somehow. Okay, there's the Archmage Charm. And if we, next turn, I guess we can also Metallic Rebuke one of their counters and try and get the Thought Monitor down. But that's really all we get. Thought Cast. No, I don't think that's the first thing. Because if we Thought Monitor, yeah. So like this, and we try and Thought Monitor, and we can Metallic Rebuke. Cool. Boop, boop, and boop. So hopefully we get the Thought Monitor down. It feels a little late, but maybe we'll draw free creatures. Free creatures would be the best thing to draw right now. A Frogmite. Okay, we get one. And now next turn, we try and cast as many draw twos as possible. We don't have any real defense. But I mean, they don't cost a lot of mana any. And if they want to Wrath 2/2/2s, it actually doesn't hurt a ton right now. So really, we're hoping next turn we get to go to the zoo. If they bring to light like a Valky or something, that would be fortunate. Big Teferi wouldn't be a problem. Big Teferi, you're welcome to Big Teferi. Prismatic ending the Welding Jar. Okay, so this is going away anyway. So we'll sack this. And we'll regenerate the Frogmite. Okay, we draw a Cranial Printing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get to do a whole bunch of stuff. So I guess we want them to counter the Thought Cast, and we want the Thought Monitor to resolve. So here's Thought Cast. Oh, that resolved. Okay. And now we have a Metallic Rebuke. That seems great. Do we want a Happy Hat? No, because then we would be completely out of mana to rebuke. So I think we go to combat now. If they have a shark, they have a shark. And by shark, for those of you who are not particularly good at Modern, or who are particularly new to Modern, you could be great at Modern and have never played it. I apologize. But I'm talking about Shark Typhoon. So okay, they didn't get that one. Let's try another Thoughtcast, see if that one's worth countering. No. Do we? They must not have counters, or they must have a Wrath. So I say we do nothing. Can we even Metallic Rebuke anymore? No, we can't, because that's the blue, and then we have one, and we have no way of getting another artifact down. So I think I go against my own word here. You know what? We can get the Happy Hat down. That doesn't die with a Wrath. We yield through this turn. Memory Deluge? Yep. This feels like a Wrath to me. Otherwise, we're in a real commanding position. I don't think that's the case. Just passing. This looks like a Solitude. Second main Solitude. Weird. I mean, the only thing that makes sense right now is Verdict, and I can't counter Verdict with Rebuke anyway. Okay, they're just tapping and untapping. No skin off my nose, big guy. We could deal them a solid amount with Cranial Plating if they only have a way to kill one creature. Looks like they are gonna Verdict. Or Big Tef. Or not. Tap, untap, tap. Okay, they're just gonna pass. Memnite. Sure, because that'll be good for Metallic Rebuke. Do we try and Thought Monitor? Sure. Free Frogmite. I say we try and Happy Hat one of the non-flyers, and we go to combat, and we have Rebuke. Now, if they just have, like, Snapcaster or, like, a Fatal Push, this is kind of silly, but we're doing our best here. All right, so they're hopefully Rebuke gets them. One? No, just that. Improvised mana. Yeah, M-Night. And that's the match. All right, guys, those Metallic Rebukes, I was actually kind of low on them, but they won us the match, so we're doing pretty hot. That's technically 3, so let's go for a 4th. Alrighty, our opponent, Cluel Cyclone 2000, has won the die roll, which is not great for us, but our hand is great for us. So let's see. Turn 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll play the Misfit. Let's see what our opponent does on their turn 1. They mold to 6, mold to 5. See if they even play this, or if I'll cut this. Oh no, they decide to keep. Let's go. Marsh Flats and passes. Love to see it. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so Mistveil Bridge. And we'll just play our hand out. Because they're showing us they have black mana, and I don't feel like getting our 0 drops ripped out of our hand. And they are important to 2 cards in our hands. So we have a whole bunch of stuff right now. Oh, if they like end of turn Fatal Push, we kind of deserve. Oh no. Okay, so Overgrown Tomb, chances are it's Yawgmoth. It's been Yawgmoth for a minute every time you see Overgrown Tomb. Street Wraith. Okay, so Jund Death Shadow or the Rock? Urza Saga, so it's probably Jund. I think Jund is the one playing Saga. Profane Tutor. I give up. I don't know what our opponent's doing. If you guys know what our opponent's doing, put it in the comments below. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can Thought Cast. And if I play Darksteel Citadel, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I can just play Sojourner's Companion. So here's what I reckon. We play Sojourner's Companion, and then next turn we try and hit them hard with Happy Hat. Yeah, I think that's the best we can do. I mean, they'll have probably a Construct token, but they don't have a million artifacts right now, so it's not a major problem yet. Although they do have a Profane Tutor, so they can literally get whatever they want. Okay, Profane Tutor ticking down. Urza Saga ticking up, cycling another Street Wraith. I mean, it could just be a really spicy rock deck. Yeah, there's the Urborg. Hello, what? Search your library for a black card. Then you can the number of creatures in your graveyard. Really put your hand and then shuffle. What are they tutoring? Gotta be a 2-drop. Asmore. Huh. It's another Asmore deck. Been one of those days. I guess that's how they plan on doing, like, a decent Urza Saga token is with food tokens. We go to the draw. Treasure Vault. So, if we play Treasure Vault, we can Happy Hat this turn and just really hit him hard, which might not be a bad thing. And then we can Thought Cast next turn, because right now we still have things to do, so that just might be better. They're not going to counter. Whip to our Ornithopter boy. Look, it's a flying 8/2. And then we just attack with these guys, because they're going to do a lot of searching next turn, so we're going to try and pressure them as much as possible. Oh no, they're just going to take it, which means they probably need Asmore. They're down to 2 though, so they have to be able to kill the Ornithopter, which, I mean, they have a Profane Tutor. They can go find whatever they need. We do have a Welding Jar though, which is good. Here comes the Profane Tutor. You don't have to show us what they get off a Profane Tutor. I'm imagining it's some sort of removal. Luckily though, Welding Jar is around, which is nice. Because like, what would be this deck? I guess it would just be Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay are their anti-artifact stuff, but that wouldn't be in the main. Well, maybe Abrupt Decay. They're gonna make a token probably. Yep, it's fine, because like, I think the worst is that could be like a 2/2. Yeah, unless they have another land and they have another cookbook, then it's a 3/3. Another Urza Saga, that's not the worst. They can sack... Oh no, they do. Okay, so it can actually be like a 5/5. But if they can't block the thing in the air, I think we win. I mean, main deck Force of Vigor is a main deck Force of Vigor, so we'll all find out together. Multiple Thought Casts. Okay, so try that. A whole bunch of stuff. We'll play this out, and before they have a chance to kill our artifacts, we'll just kind of... Because I guess they can Asmore and kill the Ornithopter that way. But the thing is, we can attack with the Soldier's Companion, because it can really only kill 1. So they block there, they make 2, they create a food token, so when they... Oh, okay, well, then fine. Overchase Irritators, whatever. But when they go to, kill the Ornithopter, their construct token's gonna shrink. Yeah, so we can sack this and regenerate it. This does remove it from combat, if I recall how regeneration works. Yeah, but we do that. So they don't have the construct token anymore. They're gonna make a construct token next turn. They can kill 1 creature per turn, but they're a 2. So I think we should be fine, especially with a Thoughtcast in our hand. I don't think there's anything we can do right now, so we'll go ahead and just yield through this turn and see. Okay, so our opponent can make 3 food tokens. And we get 3 food tokens and 1 construct token. I just cast the Ornithopter. We hope Thoughtcast finds us something good. A Relic, which actually works. So cast Ornithopter, cast Relic, and then when the Overcharged Daredevil is on the stack for going back into their hand, we can exile the graveyard. But in the meantime, attack with all creatures and see what they do. Yep, they also saw that. So we go to game 2 against Asmore stuff. This really doesn't stop Ovalchase Daredevil, but the Tormod's Crypts do. And Pithing Needle and Cursed Totem stopped Asmore. I guess a Pithing Needle's better because we can also just name Cookbook. So we want Cookbook and like maybe the 2 Crypts, maybe. Nettle Cyst, sorry buddy, you got taken out of a game. Aether Spell Bomb's probably fine to take out. The last one's always hard. And again, like I go to Cranial Plating, but that straight up won us the game this time. I hate to do it. Or do I take out a Mirror Enforcer? Let's take this out. And if we lose, we'll... Oh, gotta put these in. Ha ha ha. We'll figure it out again later if this doesn't work well. All right, so what happens here? Turn 1, Memnite that, and then turn 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can keep this, and we hope to draw more 0 drops, because we really want to hyper out the Mirror Enforcers and the Companions. All right, first turn Cookbook, which is fine. If they have an Overchase Daredevil, that's probably not good, but we have to play the cards we're dealt. We're not doing anything turn 1, so we definitely just play this and this. Although having the multiple artifact lands is good, it will definitely help us get momentum soon. Let's see what our opponent's up to. Okay, they play an Urza Saga, never a good thing to see. They also have an untapped land now. All right, we draw a Mistveil Bridge. Okay, so 1, 2, and then we play that would be 3, and then we can Thoughtcast. So let's do that and hope to find like... Can't quite cast the Frogmite, but we can next turn. So we'll go ahead and attack with our Memnite. And next turn, hopefully we just vomit our hand. Because we'll get the Frogmite down for free. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's 5, 6, 7. We have 6. So we won't quite get both Soldier's Companion and Mirror Enforcer down, but we will get a certain amount down. So it looks like they're just going to make an Urza Saga token, which is fine. Ornithopter, that makes it better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can play a Treasure Vault, and then we can play a Frogmite, and then we can play a Mirror Enforcer, and then we can play a Soldier's Companion, and then we could play a Thoughtcast, and then we could play a Memnite. I love doing this. And then we could play a Springleaf Drum. Okay, your turn, opponent. We do need to find some way to punch through right now. Because, yeah, they're going to make a token, and then they're going to discard a card and make it a 3/3, and then they discard another card and make it a 4/4. What do they discard? A Thoughtseize, makes sense. Actually, don't know why you have Thoughtseize game 2 against Affinity, but I'm not here to judge. Oh, they're going to have 2... Could be 5/5s. That is not good when our hand is just jank. And they can also get a Shadow Spear too. And we don't have a Shadow Spear. If we had a Shadow Spear, we'd be having, having jousting duels. But right now we don't, is the unfortunate part. Yep, there's Shadow Spear. So we get 1 turn to try and do something about Shadow Spear. Oh, and they have another Saga. That's awful. I think Needle can't name lands, can it? That's only Revoker. Please be something good. Tormod's Crypt. Nope. Tormod's Crypt is not what we want. Hey, and if one of these was a Happy Hat, we could have done something, but can't right now. Unfortunately, I think we're on deep, so we'll yield through this turn, and we'll just kind of hope. Okay. They're going to have so many construct tokens. Like, literally just the power of playing multiple Urza Saga is what we're seeing here. Just getting to get down a ton of construct tokens and getting Shadow Spear absolutely will win you games. No 2 ways about it. It's how you win games. They didn't attach the Shadow Spear. Interesting. So we'll just draw a Relic. Okay, well, that's a redraw. So we'll just Relic and we'll redraw. Another Darksteel Citadel does us no favors, so we might as well play out the Treasure Vault. We can't attack. We have no good attack. We need to find Thoughtcast or Thought Monitors. We need our draw 2s. That's how we get out of this. But if our opponent isn't going to press us yet, essentially that was a free turn. Because, like, what, is he not going to attack until he has a 9/9? Makes another one, so they're at 7/7s, and he's going to make 8/8s. I mean, if he has a Basilisk Collar, I think we're just done. Pithing Needle, sure. Cranial Plating, seems good. So now we can't even equip our cranial platings, which means we're going to draw 1 right now. Oh no, they're going to attack before that. Okay, sure. So we can trade in some creatures here. Kill one of their things to shrink the other one of their things. Oh, I'm an idiot. He can, I punted. I was even talking about the fact that they could do that and make it a 9/9, and I punted anyway. Frogmite. I mean, again, we'll keep fighting the good fight, because if we get a whole bunch of draw 2s, maybe we can find our way out of this, but let's see what we got here. I mean, I guess we have to put Hurkyl's Recall in the deck now. And even though that's going to bounce most of our lands to our hand, it stops their construct tokens from doing anything. Cycling Street Wraith, this feels like an Asmore. Equipping the Shadow Spear. Yeah, we're just going to scoop. Okay, what would we have drawn? And Miko Bug, so we never get to know what we can sideboard. Okay. Hurkyl's Recall, it's such a double-edged sword. Take out another Cranial Plating, because he's naming those. We have our Hurkyl's Recalls. We have to take one more thing out. I guess having 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate is enough. So we take out a Tormod's Crypt, and we try it like that. Not a bad hand. So we're fast-ish. I don't know if we're fast enough, but we're fast-ish. Our opponent mulliganing to 6 cards, good for us. Because our first turn is really just Mistveiled Bridge, Memnite, and then our second turn is Urza Saga, and then Frogmite. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. They are down to 4 cards, though, but they started with an extra thing in their hand. So we'll play Mistveiled Bridge, play Memnite, and yield through the turn. They get to do a 2-drop on turn 1, and they're starting the game with 5 cards in hand. That seems very good. Unless that was their only land. And I've been guilty of doing that. If anybody sees my Dredge videos, new one of those coming up soon, hopefully. My Gemstone Cavern plays are sus at best. Ooh, Urza Saga. Ooh, it hurts. And their turn 2, they're gonna get an Urza Saga token. Oh my god, that hurts so much. Oof, okay, so what are we doing? 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And we only have 4, as opposed to playing Urza Saga and then playing Relic, which is probably correct. Relic, and then Frogmite. We have 4 artifacts now, so next turn, hopefully we can get some Mirror Enforcers down. Although, I don't have an untapped land to take advantage of Urza Saga, so that was a little silly of me. But I guess we need to find the Shadow Spear, is my I totally meant to do that comment. Not me to do that. I mean, we look like an absolute genius if we find an untapped land, especially an artifact untapped land, but I don't think we're going to do that. And Gemstone characters into Urza Saga, that is a good idea, and that is so brutal. Creating a food token, just right off the bat, so they can play Asmore. I suppose that's fine? I mean, I think it's actually better than them playing out the Urza Saga token. Tormod's Crypt. Bleh. Oh, they're going to on our draw step. Okay, well, luckily for us, we have a basic. Okay, so Tormod's Crypt, Bridge. How much do these cost now? Only 1. Beautiful. I do think we're actually a little behind, though, on the whole, might as well crack this. I think we're a little behind, though, because they're going to go get, like, a Shadow Sphere, which is the most important thing to do. And we don't have any Urza's tokens because our thing got blown up. Yeah, so they make an Urza's token. They go get a Shadow Spear. And we need to find a Cranial Plate. What we need. Or if we just find Shadow Sphere off the top, we can dance for a little bit. But we need our creatures to get bigger because they can discard a card and make their construct token a 5/5. Now I'm saying that out loud, so hopefully I remember it. All right, what are they doing? Verdant Catacombs. Treasure Vault does us no favors. Okay, so we're kind of teetering out again. I think we're gonna lose just because I think we've run out of luck. So fun fact, when I was testing this deck, I was actually had like a super high win rate. And then the moment I turned the camera on, the win rate came back down to reality. Maybe when I was playing before I turned the camera on, I think I was drawing a lot more of the draw twos, especially against a deck like this that doesn't interact with our spells. If we kept drawing two and we really gummed up this board, it would have been amazing, but we just haven't. So they put that on Asmore. Interesting. Didn't attack. All right, please draw a draw two. Okay. The deck has decided to listen to me, which how nice of it. Please draw another draw two, please. I mean, I realize that's greedy. Yeah. I get it, deck. I get it. We'll play Treasure Vault. And again, we're just making faces from across the river right now, but our opponent can absolutely just make a million food tokens too. So we're gonna wait on the Tormod's Crypt. What are they discarding? Vengeance. Okay, well, nothing we can do about that. Another Underworld Cookbook. That's not good. So their creature's just gonna get so big, and we have no. Well, I mean, we have Hercule's Recall. Yep, swapping that over. That's fine. No attack. Okay, we really need not that. Not that at all. That's awful. Any Homestar Runner fans out there might know that reference. Okay, we're just playing Drago. Playing Drago with my hyper aggro deck. I'm sure that's exactly what I want to be doing right now. We stalled so bad. Luckily with Tormod's Crypt, though, they just can't go crazy with the food tokens, and we do have Hercule's Recall in the deck. So if we do that, we actually get to another Asmore. Get rid of the Asmore. Just to get another Underworld Cookbook. Okay, so they have a lifelinking 9/9. Scary. All right, what do we find? More lands! Why, deck? Why do you do this to me? We're gumming up the boards. I could be attacking with Thought Monitor, but I kind of want to make sure they don't attack with the Construct token. I guess we should really be attacking with Thought Monitor. Ooh, we found a Thoughtcast. Okay. Well, maybe I can make up for it. Okay, there's a Saga. And a Frogmite, and an Ornithopter. Okay, and now we'll start swinging in with Thought Monitor, because we have enough, I think, to kill the Construct token. Do they discard the card? They do. Oh, it's an Emrakul, so they can just keep doing that. Oh, they also have Guro's Vengeance. Man, this deck has just a lot of win cons. Please attack. Okay. So it can become an 11/11, and it has Trample. So 4, 8, 12. You know what? We'll just block with the team. You can kill multiple artifacts this way, but we kind of don't have another plan. And if he has some sort of blowout in his hand, we kind of want to make sure he can't super de-duper blow us out. So blocking with the whole team, I think, is the best we can possibly do here. Yep, discards Guro's Vengeance, makes it a little bit bigger, but it still dies, which is the important part. Oh, I forgot about the Asmore activations. 4, 8. Okay, so it still dies. That was weird. I would have thought you would have wanted your activations to be a little bit better than that. Works for Brian. Another Frogmite. Okay, so Darksteel Citadel, Frogmite, swing with Thought Monitor. We can't kill Asmore right now, but hey, we can sure try. And that's just the power of Urza Saga. It has really swung this game in our favor. No attack. Cool. We have a 13/13. Now, we have another one, and we get to get the Shadow Spear, which is awesome. I feel like they have some sort of Abrupt Decay ability right now, which is what keeps them in the game, truth be told. Oh, okay. Well, that came down. Go get the Shadow Spear. I reckon they kill this when I try to equip. Okay, that hasn't happened yet, so Thought Monitor time. And the game has ended, and that's the match. All right, I believe we got one more in the tank. See you soon. All right, last one for the day, and we won the die roll. What do we got here? Actually looks like quite a good hand. Let's go ahead and keep. So we'll do turn 1 Bridge into Memnite, and then turn 2 Treasure Vault into Springleaf into Frogmite, perhaps, or maybe even the Urza Saga, because we have an untap land. So these tap lands weren't in Modern back when Affinity was a deck previously with the Mopals and all that. I kind of wonder what it would look like. James, if you're watching, go ahead and let me know, like, what do you reckon this deck would have done? And also, again, thank you, Liam, for requesting this deck. I can't promise I will do this to every recommendation I get, but this was the first one, so I figured I'd go all out. So let's see, what is our opponent up to? Or they're still waiting in our end step to do something. Playing a Tap Prairie stream, so probably some kind of control. If this is boring, I might just cut this and have a different game being shown, because playing the same deck multiple times might get boring. Okay, so if we play Urza's Saga, then next turn we can Treasure Vault, and we have an Ornithopter, so we should be fine. And against control, we kind of want Urza's Saga up and running. So here comes the Ornithopter, or rather, here comes our opponent looking real hard at the Ornithopter. Okay, there we go. Springleaf Drum. Opponent's probably feeling a little bit in trouble, because we're doing a lot on turn 2. And finally, Frogmite. And we'll come swinging in for 1. He's swing. take our opponent down to 19. We're officially winning. And we'll pass the turn. One plays Port Town. Shows off a plane. So this is a budget deck of some sort. Nobody plays Port Town when they have other options. So again, I smell Counterspell, but luckily we have no spell we want to cast in our hand anyway. Nettlcyst. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. So cool. Actually, I think we attack and see if anything happens to our little artifact dudes here. All right, hit our opponent, looks like. Bring him to 16. We could just play the Mistveil Bridge and use the Springleaf Drum to make the Saga token come into play. So we'll just go ahead and play our tap land and pass in case next turn we need the extra blue mana. Ooh, boy. Dimensional Infiltrator. Neat. I haven't seen you since the Car Limited. Plays that land we knew of. So this is the one where it can maybe bounce to its opponent's hand. It's a flash flyer. You put flash on literally any creature, it gets better. So 2-1 flyer with flash. The void, if they're doing something with the void, who knows? Looks like they're just gonna pass. You can hit me for 2. Yeah, sure. I have been hit for 2. Oh, if they have a ninja, that's amazing. Do they have a ninja? No, okay. I was about to say, if they ninja me, that would be amazing. All right, and I make a dude. Boop. All right, so we have a Thought Monitor. Yeah, no, we can make another token. We have Springleaf Drum. Our opponent is probably just not happy with these construct tokens coming down. All right, and what should we go get? Pretty sure the answer is Shadow Spear, because we can play Treasure Vault, and we can just equip Shadow Spear to the construct token. Now, if he has removal, that's a blowout, but I think that's the life I choose to live. So do you have a path? You have a dispatch, you have a bounce spell. There's a million ways this can go wrong, but so far he's not tempting with any of them. I feel like this is some sort of blue-white flash deck, and because of how Construct Token works, I'm going to keep the Memnite back for now and just swing for quite a bit of damage. Yeah, I knew something was up. Stasis Snare. Wow, our opponent got us. So they get the Construct token. Yeah, buddy. Our opponent is just playing a standard deck from 2016, and I'm into it. Oh, man, if they can flicker Stasis Snare. Oh, man, that would completely derail us, because that would also get the Nettlcyst that we're going to try and use next turn. Oh, man. Our opponent. I like our opponent's spice. Is this just like a Zendikar theme deck? Blue-white Zendikar as the deck. I mean, I'd love to lose to it. They swing for 2. I mean, truth be told, they probably shouldn't, because they can block and try and bounce it, but I guess not. I mean, again, I don't know what they're doing. So far, they're just taking us to town. If they flicker Stasis Snare, again, just bravo. What do we draw? We draw a Memnite. So Memnite counts as a land, and then I guess we Thought Monitor first and see if they counter. I'm willing to bet our opponent hasn't played Modern in a bit because they're reading a lot of our cards. All right, we get a couple. A Thought Cast and a Dark Steel. We do that, we can Thought Cast. So do we Happy Hat and then try and attach the Happy Hat and try and attack on I think we do that. I think we cast Happy Hat, and then we put the Happy Hat on an Ornithopter, and we attack via 2 fronts. See if that does anything. Who knows? It could. It could not. I mean, my things do nothing all the time. Opponent's tapping mana. Spell Queller. Ugh, that hurts. I mean, come on, Brian. You kind of knew they were doing something. So that gets quellered. I mean, I guess we can at least Thought Monitor now. I'll Spell Bomb, another Cranial Plating. Okay, so we attack with everything because they kind of have to block the Construct token. Although, they could totally have a 1-mana bounce spell, which would get us hard. Okay, so we're going to get our hat back. Here's our hat. Yeah, we can't do anything else, so we'll pass. I mean, we're in a pretty good spot. If our opponent just has a Wrath, though, I mean, you got us. Our opponent just 4-mana Wrath of God just gets us. Or actually, if it was from this era, I guess it would be Fumigate. It would be the Kaladesh Fumigate, which, again, would be great for them. They'd gain so many lives. Just passing. There's no way we just... Oh, wow. No fear from our opponent. Sure, we'll create a Thought Monitor. We got nothing else going on. Okay. Untap. Ginger Brute. Okay, interesting. So... I think we have enough mana to get multiple threats going. I think the first thing we do is we see if our Construct token gets shot down when we try and attach the Swift Spear to it. Okay, see if they have another Spell Queller. They don't. Okay, so equip this to Ginger Brute. And now if they flash anything in that's not just a removal spell, we can use our last mana to make Ginger Brute unblockable. I mean, if they have a flash creature with haste, just bravo. I actually don't even know what that would be. But I think we got them on a couple different angles here. We have two creatures that are going to deal 15 damage. I say we just swing with everything because I have to kill our big things. But if they manage to kill our big things, we want to... Oh, our opponent scoops. We go to game 2. Okay. Against Azorius budget flash counter, super cool and fun. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think I have anything I could possibly bring in. I mean, we saw like that weird flash creature that had an activated ability, but I don't think it's a good enough card to bring in Cursed Totem for. I mean, they could have... Eldrazi Displacer in that deck, which would be a good card, but we didn't see any colorless sources. So that's a thing. And I've mentioned this before in my deck techs and in matches and stuff, that if you don't know what your opponent is doing, it makes sideboarding very hard. Now, I'm playing a known deck, so all 75 of my cards are very well known, whereas I don't know what my opponent's doing. I can't sideboard. He can sideboard great against me, but let's see what's up. Okie dokie, our hand is unkeepable. No lands to get us moving and not enough 0-drops to make it worthwhile. Mully mully. This is better. We'll keep and we'll give up on Relic because we don't think that does anything. Right? Opponent plays an island and passes. We find a bridge, which is probably actually better to play. All right. And then next turn we can Urza Saga Frogmite. Opponent plays, this is really weird because our opponent has like a budget kind of thing going on, but he also has like the full art lands, which, you know, cost more than $0 on mid-go. So not sure what our opponent's up to. I like it though. Darksteel Citadel. Well, I don't think that's what we're doing right now. We can play Urza Saga, play our Frogmite, and we just kind of keep moving. And next turn we make an Urza's token. Again, this is why I tried a million ways to do Affinity without Urza Saga, and it's just too good of a card to not play. Like if you're gonna play Affinity, unfortunately, the truth of the matter is you need to have Urza Saga if you want to be like in a much better position than say a budget deck. And that's not saying that budget decks are unplayable. It's just they're a lot harder to play than something like with Urza Saga. And you saw it in one of the Asmore matchups. Saga can just win on its own. We also got absolutely dumpstered the first game of the day, but hey, you know, I'm not a pro. You know, no one pays me to do this. I smell a Spell Queller. We'll go ahead and untap. Cool. So I have no reason to attack into a Spell Queller. I'll play a Darksteel Citadel and just pass. Because we can always Urza Saga when they try and do something to my land or something of that nature. And we'll just go get a Shadow Spear. Man, Urza Saga being able to be activated at instant speed is probably wrong. I've always said this for a while, that the, okay, it's just an Infiltrator. Sure, does nothing. I've always said that the Modern Horizons 2 cards tend to have one too many lines of text. And the Urza Saga maybe is missing a line of text that should say things like, hey, you lose the ability to make another construct token, or you have to do it at sorcery speed, so you can't make 2 construct tokens, but them's the breaks. All right, so we get hit, drop to 18, and we create ourselves a big boy. And I do think we big boy again on our main step, unless we draw something super duper cool. All right, we got a 5/5. Yeah, we'll make another token. Probably better than double Thought Monitoring. All right, cool. Get a Shadow Spear. Now it's our main phase where we can do this. Yeah, let's do this before any of our stuff gets blown up, because our stuff can absolutely get blown, or at least bounced. We draw 2, find a Memnite, 3 Memnite. All right, and we attack with a 9/9. They might scoop. I mean, it's going to be their turn 5, and they have a Dimensional Infiltrator, and I have this on board. I wouldn't blame them all if they were just like, we're done here. You're playing a cheesy meta deck, Brian, and I'm trying to have fun, and you're here ruining my fun. So either that, or they have... Oh yeah, no, they scooped. I get it. I really do. This was not fair. All right, let's go to the wrap-up. All right, there we have it. And other than getting absolutely wrecked in the first game, this worked out quite well. Again, the deck is good. It is good for a reason. I now have 90% of the pieces, and I look forward to trying it with the other colors in the near and far future. But as a deck in online, unfortunately, the expensive part is really, really needed to make the deck function and to get that win rate up. Now, you can make Affinity decks that don't have Urza Saga. You'll just win less, and that's totally fine. Magic is not a game about winning at all times. It's totally fine to not win every game. That being said, I'm trying to get people to watch my YouTube channel, so please forgive me when I play the meta cards. Again, Liam, thank you very much for suggesting this deck and for being a fan of the channel. If you have a deck that you would like to see me try, do email me at HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com. That's HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com. Yeah, next week, not 1,000% sure what I'm playing, but as long-term viewers of the channels will know, if you stick around this long into the video, I tend to show off something as cool as I humanly can. And this time, I found something a little bit cooler than just an unglued card. Now, this guy here, you might recognize... Oh, that is awful. Focus, camera, focus. This is a island from Commander 2016 that Rebecca Gay did the art of, and as you can see here, she signed it. And you might say, Brian, why is an artist signature that interesting? You've shown us Gamma playtest cards. That's because if I do this, and get this guy to focus again, and then I flip it around, this is an artist proof. So if you ever find a Magic card that looks like a Magic card on the front and is blank on the back, this is not a sleeve. This is the actual card, is blank on the back. That is what's known as an artist proof. And artists are given a certain number of proofs every time they do a normal Magic card. I heard it works differently with things like Secret Lair. Whenever they have a normal Magic card, they're given a handful of proofs, nowadays both in foil and non-foil if the card comes in foil and non-foil, and they're just given to the artists as, oh, hey, this is how your art looks. And normally what those artists do is they can sell them, they can give them away. This one was actually given to me by Rebecca Gay, not in person, but given to me by her nonetheless. And it's just a nice little trinket. Now, here's the thing. This doesn't have a Magic back. This is not a legal Magic piece. And you might also notice it's a little damaged, and I can explain. So what happened is I used to live in Jersey City, as long-term, viewers of the channel will know, and I was looking to decorate my place, and Rebecca Gay did all of the Commander 2016 basics, along with 2 other artists who, no offense to them, I just prefer Rebecca Gay's style. And I was like, okay, well, I can't just hang normal Magic art in my apartment. Like, even for me, that's a bit much. Like, yeah, let's have silver salamander there, or silver frog, or who knows what is going on here. These are all things that even I wouldn't hang up in my apartment. But a land, I'll totally do. So I got all 5 of her prints, and she had a deal on her website, because the prints, let's be honest, they're not cheap. I think they're like $50 or something like that. And I got them, they came, they were signed, they had a little stamp on them as well. And in the tube where all the 5 were was this artist print of one of the lands, which was the island, as a freebie, as in I absolutely loved it. Thing is, you'll notice I said it was shipped in a tube. So when this card was given to me, somebody literally took it and just kind of folded it like that and shoved it in a tube. And then on the other side of it was a whole bunch of artist prints. There were 5 like nice thick prints. And in shipping, it just kind of rolled over and crushed the card a little bit. So that literally sat in a book for years until I kind of rescued it, and that's the best it's going to get. Yeah, it's damaged, but it means a lot to me. It has a lot of sentimental value. Plus, it's cool. Artist prints are not terribly common. So that was my little trinket for today. That was Mono Blue Affinity. Thanks for sticking along. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If we get to 500 subscribers, I can even put polls up, and then we can decide together what I should play next week. But apparently, that's something locked behind 500 subs. So tell your friends, get everybody to subscribe. Thank you very much for coming along for the ride, and I will see you next time.